Let's bring in the senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Owonikoko. Thank you for joining us. The 1999 Constitution has been called military in spirit, but democratic in flesh. You have used that same document in court for many years. I'm hoping you can walk us through how valid this criticism of this document has been in the past 26 years.
Thank you very much. The process from 1999 till now has had its own bashing of criticism in terms of how the Constitution itself was enacted. But we must always trade cost and effect, and then effort and reward. If people knew what went on between 1998 and 1999, the brinkmanship and negotiation that went on to birth the democracy we have today, I guess some of the criticism we have about the Constitution in how it was made are not justified. We may criticize the content, but the alternative we had in 1999 was for military to either continue or we have to take what they gave us. And I'll give you a short example. I was in the legal team for Chief Olufalaye. After we finished at the tribunal, which then lasted 30 days, because there was the pressure to hand over, we had another 30 days to go to Supreme Court. What Chief Olufalaye is alive today, I'm happy. What came to us, that if we went to Supreme Court, military has stabilized, they have recovered from the shock of what happened to Abacha. If we went to Supreme Court, that election would be annulled, but there will be no new election. They wanted an excuse why they should remain in power. So I was holding the mic with Chief Olufalaye in his house in Victoria Island here. With the notice of appeal, I was to fly to Abuja to go and file when we were instructed not to go to Supreme Court. And that was what paved the way for General Olusegun Obasanjo to be sworn in as president. And afterwards, I think we've had 26 years to do the needful. People don't realize that we have amended the Constitution 5 times through the democratic process since 1999. We have the 5th alteration now. Whatever was wrong with the Constitution, we have had an opportunity to address some of those challenges. So we should take part of the blame for where the country has now found itself in terms of constitutional democracy. That's the number one thing. Number two thing is this. It's unfortunate that on Friday we lost my Lord Justice Lawal Uwais. When President Yaradua was sworn in as president, and he admitted that the election that brought him to office was flawed, and he took the bold step to say, we are going to interrogate this process, and I want to be open about it. He set up a 22-man panel comprising among the best that we can think of. And Justice Uwais, who just retired as Supreme Court Justice, was the head of that panel. It's shameful that since that time that they submitted their report, as broad and wide-ranging as the recommendations were, we are still struggling with having to implement it. That's how many years from now? Since that time, it's about 19 years. Justice Uwais died on Friday. Today, June 12, actually will have been his 89th birthday. He was born on 12th of June. So he's a product and also a part of the process of our democratic journey. And I believe that whatever lesson we have learned in the last 20 years, what we need to do is to take ownership of the constitution that we have and bring it in our image to reflect our wishes.
Senior Advocate, you talked about 5 amendments in 26 years. There are even conversations as to whether or not subnationals have implemented some of these amendments to their favor. But is there any part of that Constitution that has actively hindered our democratic development and should be a priority by now?
Yes, I believe there are 2 critical parts of the Constitution that we need to address. The first is, as the Waste Panel report realized, the process of appointing the election managers. It is just natural that if those in authority have the prerogative of choosing who should manage the election, it's going to reflect their own values. And the recommendation was that we should isolate the election managers away from political control. In fact, the requirement to become members of election manager included having to show that you have qualification of a member of House of Rep, which means that you must have a political party, you must belong to a political party. If we want to get away from this cynicism about our electoral process, we should address the question of independence of the election managers, because that is the gateway into our democratic system. Once that system is porous, once it is defiled, the outcome.
You don't think they are independent in the way they're currently constituted?
I'm sorry, I don't think so.
Even though they answer independent National Electoral Commission?
Well, I think the name was actually